One of the world's oldest living cities, known for its deep religious diversity, has been at the center of a deep divide for the last 3 weeks. A Madras High Court order from December 1st reignited a century-old property disagreement between a Hindu temple and an adjoining dargah. Over the past 2 years, there have been petitions, there have been counter-petitions, police prohibitions, demonstrations and judicial directives that have sought to define and try and resurrect some of these rituals and processions and territorial claims that are tied to this disputed Deepam site at the sacred hill. But while devotees of Lord Muruga were blocked from lighting the Kartikeya Deepam at the Subramanya Swami temple, the Sultan Sikandar Dargah saw devotees follow a tradition at the site the temple claims is theirs. That begs the question, if minorities in the state of Tamil Nadu are more equal than the rest in the state, has the DMK government willfully defied a court order to follow a deceitful anti-Hindu agenda? Before we delve into all of that, here are some of the facts of what has transpired in Madurai over the last few days, especially in the last 24 hours, which is why we're having this discussion at all in the first place. There was a flag hoisting at the Dargah there. That happened on the night of December 21st. This was at the Hazrat Sultan Sikandar Badshah Dargah in connection with a festival that is going to go on until the 6th of January. The temple pillar, which is at the point of contention, is just about 50 meters away. That is where the Kartikeya Deepam was supposed to be lit. That is just 50 meters away from the Dargah. That is where that flag was hoisted. The local residents then protested. They sought permit to light the Deepam near the Dargah, for which permission was then denied. But permission has been granted by the state government and the local authorities there to continue this particular festival that is followed at the Dargah until next month. This controversy over the Kartikeya Deepam has only snowballed in the month of December, and there are several court orders for that. First, a single judge bench, Justice Swaminathan, permitted the lighting of the Kartikeya Deepam at the Deepam site. That order came in on the 1st of December. It was supposed to be lit on the 3rd of December, but that didn't happen because the state government blocked these protesters nonetheless, these devotees nonetheless. The state government then appealed this particular order. It was dismissed by the division bench of the High Court. The division bench also said that the motive behind the appeal was to preempt contempt action, but that wasn't the case. Stalin government then moved a plea in the Supreme Court on the 5th of December for urgent hearing. That urgent hearing plea was not looked into, but they argued that there was no historical evidence to prove that this pillar was a Deepam at all, and that it was just a pillar that could have been very well part of the Dargah. They claim that this lighting spot and these protests that were driven by it were only a certain mindset really, and nothing to abide by traditions. But questions are being raised with the Dargah now being granted permission to hoist a flag near that ancient pillar. The BJP has called it double standards of the DMK, with Hindus being prevented from lighting the sacred Deepam at the Deepam, while the Dargah gets permission to raise a flag. The AIA-DMK, which is the BJP ally in the state, has also raised similar concerns. Also then going on to say that for the Stalin government, it's merely vote bank politics and minorities as a vote bank that matters the most. Listen into the war of words that has erupted even as the DMK maintains a stoic silence as the city of Madurai erupts once again.
The role of the elected government to ensure that there is peace that prevails in the section of the society. But what DMK wants is DMK wants a bloodbath in Thiruparamkundram so that it can appease a section of the people for vote bank politics, keeping Udaynidhi in mind. They have not done their job. 2005, our leader Amma called in for a peace committee meeting and ensured that peace prevails in Thiruparamkundram, wherein this government has not taken any such efforts so far.
This is the anti-Hindu, anti-Sanatan face of DMK. On the one hand, the DMK prevents Hindus from lighting the sacred Kartikeya Deepam at the Deepam, the sacred pillar. But on the other hand, it gives permission to the Dargah there to conduct its own ceremonies and to even raise the flag. Why this double standards?
So let's open this up. Narayanan Tirupati, Chief Spokesperson of Tamil Nadu BJP is with us. Harish Mohammad Ibrahim, political analyst who backs the DMK, is with us as well. S. Muralidharan, political analyst backing the TVK. And Ramaswamy Mayappan, an advocate, joins us. Let me begin by asking Mr. Ibrahim, why is it that we saw this sort of disparity where one particular community was not allowed to practice what they have been saying is centuries-old tradition while the other was?
Until the BJP and RSS play petty politics with the Thiruparamkundram issue, everything was going fine and Madurai people were enjoying whatever the freedom. Now the matter is sub judice. And even when it comes to this Dargah, the regular procession was being given. The same procession was being given, the same procedure was being given during the Kartikeya Deepam, where the ancient 100-year-old pillar has been given which is the righteous thing which the state government has to do when during the Kartika Deepam. And the same tune has been lit up during the Kartika Deepam by December 3rd, December 1st, on that particular event, which has been followed for more than 100 years. So there is no kind of double standard here, which the BJP and RSS is trying to evoke through their proxy called Rama Ravi Kumar, by invoking seditious, invoking most sensitive prawn area over there. But having said that, the Madurai has been seeing Kallalagar Murugan festival. Almost 30 lakh people have been following on a year by year without even a 0.01% of any kind of deviation or any kind of issues. Until unless the BJP and RSS want to try to do the petty politics by religion, which they have been successful in doing that with the North India, they want to try the same thing in South India, particularly in Tamil Nadu.
But Mr. Ibrahim, it wasn't the BJP or the RSS that blocked these devotees from going atop that hill on the 3rd of December. It was the state government, it was the state police and the local administration. So how is the BJP invoking anything? There was a court order that asked for this lighting of the Kartikeya Deepam at that particular spot. And yet these devotees were brought.
Can I complete? By 1996, there has been given a ruling which has been stated by the double bench judge by 2014, which has been stated during the 2017 hearing also. So once the double bench have given a constitutional framework of those kind of orders, which has been overturned by the single judge with what kind of narratives, we don't want to get into this and create a contempt. But having said that, whether the appeal of the HRNC have been followed during the Supreme Court, when the court has been pending order has been there, the 100-year-old Deepathoon has been formally lit up every year without even a 0.01% of problems or issues. Only until unless there is a motive behind the BJP and RSS to create a division with the religion ahead of 2026 polls, the state government has its all liberty to make sure there is a law and order problem doesn't arise. And having said that, 100-year-old Deepathoon have been formulated and lit even this year by the HRMC by call upon all the Tripurankundram people and doing or whatever the procession which has to be followed has been followed by the state government. What kind of narrative the BJP has to formulate with this kind of issue, that won't be allowed. Not even only in Tamil Nadu, but across India, it shouldn't be allowed by creating a divisive
But sir,
politics,
you haven't answered my question. It wasn't the BJP or the RSS that blocked these people, that blocked these devotees from going atop that hill. It was the state government, the local administration and the police.
No, until unless the case has been filed by the Madurai High Court, which has been under sub judice matter right now.
But the DMK government appealed to the court. The Supreme Court didn't say, okay, fine, put a stay on what the court had said. Which means that the earlier order which came in from the Madurai bench of the Madras High Court stays in effect, which means that Deepathoon lighting at the Kartikeya Deepam should have happened.
Poonam, prevention of law and order, where there are kind of miscreants who have been coming to create a divisive politics or divisive in nature has to be proclaimed and has to be eradicated by the state government through whatever the means. Even if it is Islam people are doing it or Christians doing it or Hindus doing it, that doesn't matter for any state government who run by the constitution book, right? And once there has been a given of information by the intelligence stating that their kind of mob is coming, those are the inputs which has been submitted to the Madurai High Court bench as well, even during the last hearing. So now as the matter is sub judice, we want to wait for the righteous place which has to be given to the Hindus. There is no denial at all. Even the state government of Tamil Nadu has done almost 3,000 Kumbh Mela and Kumbhabhishekam or during the last 4.5 years, where the ADMK government for the last 10 years have done only 38 to 39 Kumbhabhishekam. So you don't want to call an DMK government, which is secular for all the people of Tamil Nadu, for almost the 8 crore people of Tamil Nadu, as one particular religion or particularly bashing some kind of religion. That is the narrative which the BJP and RSS want to do ahead of 2026 polls, which sensibility of the Tamil Nadu.
So Narayan Tirupati, this is only a political matter for the BJP and the RSS, which is why you're trying to whip up the sentiment and keep this alive. Leave aside the fact that the court actually ordered it. That order was not put into effect or implemented by the state government, but it's just the BJP that's trying to whip up this sort of sentiment is the allegation.
See, only one thing. Last year, the same time, the same judge, Mr. G.R. Swaminathan, in a different case, he has given a judgment in Yerwadi Santanakodu Vida. What happened yesterday in Tirupurankundram, the same thing happened in Yerwadi. So, for more than 10 years, it was stopped. So, Judge G.R. Swaminathan had given the verdict and order that it should be conducted from last year. the state police, that the same Dravida model DMK government implemented what the Judge G.R. Swaminathan said. There were no barricades, there was no 144, nobody was curtailed, nobody was denied permission. But they followed what Mr. G.R. Swaminathan said because it was favoring the Muslims. Now, when it comes to Hindus, the Dravida model DMK government says so many things that law and order problems will come. We will not allow anyone into the temple above the Murugar temple, not even to the Shiva temple. We have been stopped. All the Hindus have been stopped entering this hill, Tiruparamkundram hill, for the past so many months, almost 1 month or 1.5 months. But how come you send somebody now? Will the law and order is okay now? If it is okay, then you cannot curtail people to go from there. So this is the double standard as what the communists did in Jacobite was the Orthodox case and the Sabrimala case. So you have two different yardsticks for two different religions. This is called the Dravida model. The government has got no authority, no right, no business to do Kumbhabhishekam as claimed by my friend. It is the temple management which does all those things. So they claim that they are doing. They are not doing. The temples are paying money to the HRNC board and the government is not paying even 1 rupee to temples. So please understand. All these narratives are set by the DMK government. We are only asking how you are not allowing anyone to go to the hill. Now, how you allow somebody there when you are stopping the Hindus? That is what we are asking.
Mr. Ibrahim, do you have a counter to make? Because these questions are being asked not just by the BJP and the RSS, but several devotees in the state of Tamil Nadu as well.
Yeah, of course. I sincerely want everyone, as it is the status quo which has been followed previously 1 year by inviting all the devotees.
144 is there. Sir, 144 is there. You have not allowed people for the past 1 month. Now, how you are, yesterday, how you have allowed? This is the question. The law is common for everyone, whether it is a Muslim or a Hindu or a Christian. How you can allow some people yesterday? You are denying anyone to walk inside the hill. But yesterday you allowed. How? Where is the 144? Where are the barricades? That is what we are asking.
Sir, with due respect to Narayana Tripati, sir, he is a learned man. He knows how the law operates, and there has been a complete 144 where the proper barricade should be there.
To the entire hill.
Where the till the Uchipilayar, where the ancient 100-year-old Deepatun, the entire HRNC called over almost 100 of the people to go ahead and lit up during the Kartikeya Deepam is what we understand. But having said that, I as an individual, I want all the people cutting across religion should have an harmonious kind of doing their practice.
Does it belong to Pakistan? Above that, above Uchipilayar Koil, that belongs to Pakistan. I don't see it. It belongs to India.
See, these kind of perception, these kind of insinuation, these kind of
I am asking you, sir. Sir, I am asking you.
Narayanan sir, with due respect to you, Narayanan sir,
Tiruparamkundram hill is a very big hill. Why you are stopping? You have been. I don't say why you stopped. Okay, leave that also. Till yesterday, you stopped people entering above this Uchipilayar temple. Okay, I accept what you say. And now yesterday, how did you allow them? What happened to your 144? What happened to your problems?
That you have to make sure to put in public litigation case or an RTA to inform how the government has been doing that. No, I'm saying I am not on the official capacity of the. I am not an official.
And that's the most unfortunate bit, because in official capacity, the DMK does not want to come out and answer any of these questions. But let me get in the other two gentlemen that have been waiting as well. Ramaswamy Mayappan, the simple point really is this: legally speaking, who owns the hill? Because this has been going on for a really long time. It has been going on for decades, if not centuries, this sort of property disagreement or argument that has been going on between the two sites, between the Dargah and the temple. But it's not that every year we see something like this happen. It's not that every single year Madurai and this particular hill erupts in protests and erupts in these kind of scenes.
My pranams to Bharat Mata and the people of Bharat. First, I think my brother Harish Ibrahim is misunderstood the judgment of the Honorable Court. First, the judgment of the decree in 1923 has been upheld by the Privy Council that gives rights to the entire hill to the idol Lord Muruga. So the deity there has rights over the entire hill. The only right available to the Dargah is to the property where Dargah is, the Nelitopu, and they have right of easement, ingress and egress to the Dargah. They don't have any other right. They do not have ownership anywhere else. This has been, this has attained finality. No one can question it today. 1. 2. The question that there is a division bench judgment in 2011 and 2014 is erroneous, is a wrong legal argument. The request made by the petitioner there was to light the lamp on the topmost point of the hill where the Dargah is located. That I am with my friend that the lamp cannot be lit where the Dargah is. Peace has to be protected. There has to be a good relationship between all communities. There has to be peace. Therefore, lamp can't be lit in the Dargah. That is not the relief that is sought by the petitioners today. They are asking about a Deepatun. Deepatun in name is a pillar with lamp. So where do you light the lamp? In a pillar with the lamp. So you pour oil there. There is availability of 3 different positions for the lamp to be lit and for ghee to be poured in there. So I'm not sure physically if that pillar can be used for any other purpose. So the logic of it is also defied. Then the next question on the legal position, that there is a matter that is sub judice. There is no stay before the Supreme Court. There is no stay before the division bench. The contempt petition, the letters patent appeal on the contempt petition has been dismissed. So now that being the position, the state, the state missionary, either the collector or the SP do not have any legal basis to stop anyone. They created a situation where there is a 144 or 163 under the BNSS and people can't travel. Now, if 144 has to be there for one person, that has to be applicable to everyone. The law of the land is equal. That's precisely what my senior Mr. Narayan Tirupati had asked, that how can there be 144 until yesterday for everyone else? How can that 144 be removed for one community to go and hoist the flag? If that is the case, then there is no law and order issue. Why not only 10 people? The court permitted 10 people to go there. The court did not even ask in the first instance 10 people to go there. The court asked the temple administration to go and light the lamp. If the temple administration went and lit the lamp, no one else will have to go. There is no requirement of any public going there. People pray from anywhere else. They had access to go there irrespective. So what is the problem of the government? The government is on appeasement politics, 1. 2, after the British Raj, this is a government that wants to divide and rule. They want to divide Hindus, Muslims and Christians, create a vote bank for themselves. Otherwise, their anti-incumbency issue, their incapability in governance today, them not delivering on every issue of their manifesto will come to light. Therefore, they want to divide the communities here, create a political issue where nothing exists, and do not allow Hindus and cause this animosity.
But Mr. Mayappan, the basis of this argument is that Deepatun is a pillar that's meant to have lamps lit there, which is why devotees of Lord Muruga want to light lamps there. But as per the state government, that is just a pillar. What is the evidence that is a Deepatun at all? That is what they said in the court, which is why they say that there is no genesis.
So this is where I will have to interfere. They submitted an affidavit with drawings comparing that to the other lamp pillars. The new stand that they are taking now is that this is of Jain origin and not of Hindu origin. Therefore, there is no right for the Hindu devotees to light the lamp. So they can't keep changing their goalposts every time they lose an argument. They will have to start with their argument from first. So one issue is attained finality, that the entire hill is owned by the deity there. Lord Muruga is the owner of the entire hill. That is not in question. That can't be changed. 2, that the rights to worship is available everywhere in the hill except for the Dargah, Nelitopu and the right of access area. That is the only limit. So that's 15 meters, 15 meters. This entire Deepatun is over 50 meters away and it's on the lower hill. So therefore there is no question of these things coming up. All their legal and factual arguments have gone to the dogs, gone to the worst position. They have lost out on every ground. Now today they are only wanting to hold political waters and social waters. Their 144 has fallen flat again. My learned senior categorically stated, if 10 people can go like hoist the flag, why can't the temple administration go light the lamp? It's a simple logical question. If the state government can answer this, they can stay in office. Otherwise, I think logically the chief minister should resign, not be in office. If he says that one person from the temple administration going and lighting the lamp is not a law and order situation they can protect, the chief minister should not be in office. The home ministry is under his advisement, is his ministry. He should not continue in office at all. People who elected him should raise these questions.
Mr. Ibrahim, I know you're not the official spokesperson of the DMK, but why do you think it is that the DMK is lost for answers today? Because this kind of disparity is widely open for everyone to see. It's no secret.
No, as Tamilians, we always want to have an harmonious living cutting across religions. There is no second thought about it. Having said that, the Trippuram Kundram issue, even the 100-year-old Deepathoon have been lit on the Uchupillayar Koil by the HRMC during the Kartikeya Deepam. So there is no second thought. Only the dispute where it comes is the new procedure.
But why is it that the HRMC, Department of the Government officials get the right to do this and then just say that, oh, we did it, which means it's okay, but everybody else should be not allowed?
No, usually it was happening during all these centuries, even during the ADMK government. That is what the principal procedures which has been followed. There is no segregation whether the DMK or ADMK has done that.
I don't think that's the case, Mr. Ibrahim. I don't think that has happened in the last 2 years either. Forget AIADMK's time.
Even Madam Jayalalitha has upheld the division bench judgment even during 2014 and 2017. So you can't go ahead and spin the narrative what the BJP wants to do against the DMK. So having said that, the 100-year-old Uchipillayar Deepathoon have been lit up during this Kartikeya Deepam as well by the state government. No, that is where 100 years tradition have been followed. That is the same place.
Then you should have understand. You please understand. You please understand.
The pillar. One second, sir. Narayanan sir, the pillar which is under dispute is now, which has been placed by the Geometrical Survey of India during 1880s under the British era, is what the recordicum, which is what.
Okay, Mr. Ibrahim, tell me this one thing before I get in Mr. Muralidharan as well. He's been patiently waiting. But Mr. Ibrahim, tell me this one thing. If the government has done everything by the book and followed the law to the letter, why is it that the Madras High Court, the Madurai bench of it, has time and again has been exasperated over how officials have not been able to carry out the order they were given? The court has on record asked why officials have been in contempt and not allowed this lighting to go on.
I don't want to cast my aspersions on the single judge, Mr. GRS. Whatever the statement which he had made during all the public rallies.
Well, aspersions were cast. It even went to the stage of him being impeached. But anyway, that's another matter altogether. But yes, go ahead.
If you expect my answer, please have some fairness on allowing me. Yeah, Mr. GRS has given so many features regarding Sanatana Dharma, where which should be followed, which is about the
concept. What is this?
Narayanan sir,
Mr. Tirupati, let him finish. Mr. Tirupati, let him finish.
And Mr. Udaynidhi, having said that, he said that those kind of oppression, whether it is followed by Hindu religion, whether it is followed by Islam religion, whether it is followed by Christian religion, has to be oppressed like a dengue or malaria. You can't go ahead and...
But that's not what he said. That's not what he said. He was talking about the Sanatan Dharma, which is exactly why questions are being asked of the DMK, because it looks like it's a pattern against one particular community. And I'm glad that you brought up what Udaynidhi Stalin said, because that's exactly why there is this sentiment among people of Tamil Nadu, not just your political rivals. But Mr. Muralidharan, I thank you for your patience and for patiently waiting. But I want to ask you this. Today we had Mr. Vijay, who held a Christmas event where he was reaching out to the Christian community in the state of Tamil Nadu. He said that I am going to uphold social harmony because that's not what's happening currently. He's pitching himself as the only contender against Stalin and the DMK. Why is he silent on this issue then? Is this not important enough? Are these not constituents of his that he's trying to woo or reach out to?
He doesn't have to, Poonam, for a simple reason. When the DMK is busy scoring self-goals, why should he bother? See, look at this state now. A state which we thought will never fight elections on communal grounds. Okay? It's fighting these, this election, 2026, is going to be between Lord Muruga, Jesus Christ, and Allah. That's how it's going to reflect. And who should we blame for this? Should we blame BJP? No. BJP, it's their right. See, that's how they play their politics. Hindu vote bank is utmost important for them because 85% of the population in Tamil Nadu are Hindus. So they're going to woo them. So that is politics for them. So who should have handled this sensibly? What is the population of Muslims in Tamil Nadu? 6.5%, probably 7 now. And the Christians, they also below this Muslims as per 2011 survey. But they are much more because there are a lot of people who enjoy benefits who don't want to show that they're Christians. So put together is 15%. That's it. And by wooing them, what is DMK going to achieve? DMK is paranoid today. DMK is they're scared because they're going to get a serious drubbing in 2026 because in 2021 the difference between DMK and ADMK is only 3.5%. And 3.5% has been already taken away by a gentleman called South Shankar who releases video every day. And they could not handle him, they put him behind bars. Okay, now it's in a level playing field. In the level playing field, if Vijay is going to take away, today, if you see the press meet in the Christmas function Vijay held, people after some of the pastors' union said, 234 constituencies, we are going to stand united with you. And this is the same with Islamic population also, because there are so many people, in the prisons in Tamil Nadu, filled with Islamic people who are actually, aggrieved that the Stalin government has done nothing for them. So the DMKs, they're scared. They don't know what to do.
Which is why I'm asking, are these people who are aggrieved by this controversy, by them not being able to light the Kartikeya Deepam, are these not the constituents that Mr. Vijay will fight for?
Vijay will definitely fight for. When there was no issue for so many years, Islamic people and Hindus have been united. They have a clear understanding. It is the DMK in the form of appeasement. They've gone overboard. They're up the wall right now. They don't know what to do. They really don't know how to counter the BJP narrative or the ADMK narrative or the new entrant Vijay. They fear Vijay.
Isn't that more reason for him to speak out and take on the DMK? Because this is an issue that has been handed out to him on a platter. Like you say, it's not an issue that matters to him. But if it's playing out in the field of Tamil Nadu politics, then why not? And yet we don't have any comment from him.
Poonam, let's understand, there is an Islamic community and Hindu community. Why should he take a side? He should not take a side. He is being neutral.
Exactly. He's not taking a side at all, which is exactly what I'm asking.
He should not. He should not. Why should he? He says, I'm not going to be communal. I'm going to be a secular government. This is what he's promising. When he's promising a secular government, why should he take sides? He should not. Because the court is seized of the matter. And we already have a fantastic judge who gave a judgment like G.R. Swaminathan. And everybody...
An order that the state government defied. And yet, Mr. Vijay had nothing to say about the DMK.
No, the DMK keeps complaining about G.R. Swaminathan, but on the contrary, in each and every one of his judgments, he either quotes the Prophet Muhammad or he quotes an Islamic friend who gave him, from vegetarian food on an occasion on Ramzan. And they want to impeach him out of his seat. And see, they're scoring a self-goal. And what is happening now is Vijay, who would have thought he would get some 5 to 7%, I think probably now he thinks he's getting 10 to 15%. That's how it's going. And you won't be surprised. And Vijay, if not becoming chief minister, he will be the primary opposition in the parliament, in the assembly, starting 2026. And DMK will not be anywhere. This is the problem. And
so Narayanan Tirupati, it's the BJP's communal politics that eventually will lose out because both the TVK and the DMK are secular parties and that's what the state of Tamil Nadu wants. And this is a controversy that the BJP hopes to get dividends from but won't happen.
BJP is the only party that celebrates all the festivals, whether it is Ramzan or Christmas or Diwali. But these people in Tamil Nadu, particularly DMK and also today Vijay, they don't celebrate Hindu festivals. They want to eradicate Sanatana Dharma, that is Hindu religion. This is what the DMK has been. They don't even wish during Diwali, and that is what is happening. So they target the Muslim and Christian votes who vote in bulk. The Muslims' votes are decided in mosques, the Christian votes are decided in churches. So that is why they are after the Muslim and Christian votes, whereas BJP doesn't do that. In fact, Hindus doesn't vote religiously. We also know that. So BJP is not communal. It is the DMK that is the communal party in Tamil Nadu. It is the DMK, Congress, Vidudalai Sirthaikal, all these parties are communal. And now, slowly, I think Vijay is also taking to that place. Because he should have, as you rightly said, he should have commented that at least, he should have commented on the government that they have not implemented the court's order, which I think Vijay did a mistake.
Well, we'll see where this goes because this matter is sub judice like we've been discussing and up until there is a decision that comes out from the courts, the Supreme Court itself, whether this is something that keeps simmering on ground, we'll have to keep an eye out on. Given that elections are just around the corner in the state, this definitely has become an election issue. But I thank you, gentlemen, for joining us here on this edition of The Right Stand. Shifting focus to what's transpiring in our neighborhood, and Bangladesh is imploding and there is a rise in anti-India rhetoric. Violent protests have erupted across Bangladesh. This is following the death of Islamist radical leader Sharif Usman Hadi. He succumbed to a gunshot injuries while he was recuperating in Singapore last week. The Islamist leader's sister has now threatened India and threatened of jihadi training against India. While Islamists thronged central Dhaka over the weekend to mourn his death, the Yunus government put the radical on a pedestal. Today, his sister is issuing threats against India, but not a word from the Yunus administration, who would want India as a key stable partner. But it looks like all the Yunus administration wants to do is whip up this anti-India sentiment that seems to be gathering steam. A BNP leader in Bangladesh has now exposed the Yunus administration. On a news channel during a TV debate, she spoke about how it was the Jamaat which was linked to Usman Hadi's killer. Is it a complete Islamist takeover in Bangladesh? Well, many would suggest yes, it is. And what does that mean for India? What does that mean for Bangladesh? Listen into what this BNP leader had to say about how exactly people in Bangladesh itself are being misled by the Yunus administration and by the Jamaat.
যে হাদিকে খুন করার উদ্দেশ্যে গুলি করেছে তার ব্যাকগ্রাউন্ড দেখেন, তাকে জামিন করাইছে কে তার দুইবার এই করছে ব্যারিস্টার কায়সার কামাল সহযোগী ছিল, আমি অস্বীকার করব না। ব্যারিস্টার কায়সার কামাল আমি বলি এটা শিশির মনির দুইবার তাকে আপনার জামিন করিয়েছে এবং শিশির মনির এই কাজগুলো করেছে। আমি কিন্তু দায়িত্ব নিয়ে কথাটা বলছি।
আমি দায়িত্ব নিয়ে বলছি, আপনি অসত্য বলছেন।
কায়সার কামাল সহযোগী ছিল, সহযোগী উকিল। আমি একজন উকিল হিসেবে বলি, আপনি সময় বলবেন প্লিজ, আপনি বলবেন। আপনার নিয়ম কি? নিয়ম হচ্ছে উকিল, আপনি যদি উকিল থাকেন, আপনি একা পারলেন না, আপনার মনে হলো আরো 5টা নিতে পারেন। আপনি আপনার আসামি পক্ষ বা বাদী পক্ষ যদি চায় যে হ্যাঁ আরো 10টা উকিল নেব, সমস্যা নাই, টাকা কোনো ম্যাটার না, আপনি নিতে পারেন। তো সেইখানে কায়সার কামাল বা তার আরেকজন সহযোগী, সেটাও বিএনপি। এবং এইখানে কিছু কিছু উকিলের ক্ষেত্রে আমি বলি, হায়ারে যে উকিলগুলা যায়, হায়ারে সে উকিলগুলো আওয়ামী লীগের সময় আওয়ামী লীগের উকিলরাও বিএনপির হায়ারে নিচ্ছে। কেন নিচ্ছে? যাতে জামিনটা হয়।
Let's open this up. Rajiv Dogra from A Diplomat is with us. Smriti Patnaik, a fellow at the IDSA, will be joining us shortly. Ambassador Dogra, I want to ask you this. You know, the kind of reactions that we've seen from Bangladesh, muted ones at that, over the missions that were attacked of India, over the kind of attacks on minorities that have taken place. I mean, condemnations coming in for Usman Hadi, whose family is now threatening India, but not a peep from anybody within the Yunus administration about what's happening against India.
So it's quite clear that there is no division within Bangladesh on treatment of either the minority Hindus or their relationship, which they do not want to improve with India. So let's be quite clear and let's keep the blinkers off our eyes that Bangladesh is on a path which was started in 1905 when Muslim League was founded in Dhaka. Bangladesh is on a path which also began in 1946 in Calcutta when Hindus were lynched and massacred by the thousands. Bangladesh is also on a path where every lane in Dhaka today has a mosque. And Bangladesh is also on a path where even the political parties, and I mean both Awami League and BNP, are unable or unwilling to oppose and stand against the political Islam, which is extremely deep-rooted in Bangladesh, perhaps even more so than in Pakistan. In Pakistan, at least, there are some people who raise their voice against decimation of minorities which has taken place. But in Bangladesh, they know that minorities, meaning Hindus, will be decimated in the next 10 years or so. But no one has stood up or raised his voice in an effective manner. So please let us not delude ourselves in thinking that there are sections in Bangladesh which will speak up for minorities and fight for minorities' rights and place in the society. That's not going to happen.
Smriti Patnaik, if elections were to happen, if and when they do happen in Bangladesh, is there any semblance of this changing? Could there be anything that changes there, or is this something that will continue? Because many would say that the two big parties, the BNP that seems to be on the verge of fragmentation there, and the Awami League, which has sort of been pushed out of the picture, were the only two that could have had some hope for a stable Bangladesh and stable relations with India. But that doesn't seem to happen even when elections do happen.
I think given the situation in Bangladesh currently, some people are predicting that whether the election will happen on the 12th of February, as the announcement has already been made. Today also there was, in some places there were attack on one of the BNP persons. So, this attack is continuing throughout the country, which actually gives an idea that, the country is, the government, the interim regime is completely not in control of the situation. One can really question whether it wants to control, because, like, for example, the hardy demonstration which took place, it seems that the government had the knowledge that quite a few people are gathering in front of both Prathamalo and the Daily Star. Yet the government did not do anything to prevent this gathering, and when the Daily Star was burned and the journalists went upstairs, they were really trying frantically making calls, and only after quite a few minutes the help came. So the situation there is quite alarming, I would say. And if the election happens, as you were saying, I think the election is going to be between the two major kind of parties in the current situation, because the Awami League remains banned. One is the BNP, the other is the Jamaat Islami, and we all know that on the 25th of December, Tariq Rahman, who is living in exile in London, is going to come back. And perhaps, he will give a kind of direction to the BNP at this point of time. But the question is that between these two political parties who are going to contest election, the question is that whether the BNP is going to get the 2/3 majority. And on the election day, on the 12th of February, there are two elections that is going to take place. When I say two elections, one is that a referendum on the reform which the government has introduced, as well as the election. So that actually we really do not know what will be the result of the referendum, though the government expects that many people will vote in favor of the referendum. But the kind of politics one is witnessing now, one really do not know. Then what happens to the supporter of the Awami League? Awami League is banned, but the supporters are there. Their constituency is there. The people who have voted for Awami League historical, they are there. So how are they going to vote? And that also remains a kind of question. Are they going to boycott, or are they going to vote in the election? I think that actually will determine which way the country is going to move forward.
Well, Ambassador Dogra, I want to ask you this. Speaking of the Awami League, the fact that Sheikh Hasina is in India, that seems to also be a sore point for many in Bangladesh. And we've seen the kind of protests that have taken place outside deputy missions or Indian high commissions in Bangladesh demanding the extradition of Sheikh Hasina. Do you think that India can do more, given the situation that India should do more so that this sort of is quelled where it is right now? Because eventually an unstable Bangladesh is going to have an effect on India as well?
Well, let me start with Sheikh Hasina. It's not the first time that Sheikh Hasina has got asylum or shelter in India. She was here in the late 70s, early 80s for some time, and this is the second time. India, as a country which has certain traditions of democracy, constitutionalism, and respect for human rights among its neighbors and the wider world, stands on certain principles. And one of those fundamentals is that we should not give an opportunity for a country which is not quite an upholder of law to take a political leader and, sentence her firstly in absentia, and then when she returns there to execute her. The same thing is happening in Pakistan. Look at the treatment that Imran Khan is getting, or look at the treatment that Zulfikar Ali Bhutto got. So do we want a repetition of some such thing with regard to Sheikh Hasina? Certainly not. I'm not saying that Sheikh Hasina or her party are extremely pro-India. That is not the case. They were favorable to India, but they were not bending over backwards to be in favor of India or to ensure that radical Islam did not prosper in Bangladesh. It prospered during her time. The second thing is that how far should we go on appeasing the country? Tomorrow they'll say, why not give all the 7 states to Bangladesh, as Yunus seems to be demanding? Will we do that? No, certainly not. In fact, please remember that both Shyama Prasad Mukherjee and Sardar Patel, after the partition, had in fact said quite the opposite thing. They said, give us 1/3 of the territory of East Pakistan, because you've pushed out all the Hindus from, what was their territory.
Correct.
So let us not appease a country in the hope that it will mend its ways. Bangladesh is not going to mend its ways. And let me also add that the elections, whether they are held in February or whether they are not held in February, and Yunus carries on, there will not be any change as far as India is concerned. In fact, there will be a regression towards more disturbance, more anti-India sentiment, and perhaps a more open alignment with Pakistan in terms of strategic issues and in terms of pushing anti-India elements to the forefront.
Sure, then where does that leave India, Ms. Patnaik? Because do you think that there is a push for a global intervention sort of a thing that needs to be done? Because the United States, the United Nations have all come out and condemned and condoled the death of Usman Hadi, but not about what's happening against India, this kind of anti-India rhetoric that seems to be building up.
I think I don't expect the United States, to intervene and say, what is happening to Bangladesh's relationship with India. But I would say I did not see any kind of condemnation for the Hindu person who was burnt, killed and then burnt.
Exactly.
I didn't see such kind of condemnation. And there is also no condemnation of, what happened after the death of Hadi. The question is that, there are a lot of weapons which is actually outside. In a sense, the police armory was looted after Hasina's fall, and many of this weapon which is out actually has not been accounted for. So we really do not know what is the role those guns are going to play, in the violence. So I don't see any kind of, even, the banning of Awami League has not, there is no statement from the United States or the European Union saying it has to be,
or any statement from them about the kind of targeting that we've seen of the Indian missions as well. And that's really somewhere where the red line needs to be drawn, and that's something that the world needs to be talking about as well. But unfortunately, I'm completely out of time. We'll leave it there. I thank you, Ambassador Dogra and Smriti Patnaik, for joining us here on The Right Stand. But speaking of Bangladesh, a horrific crime did come to the fore of the targeting of a Hindu man, Deepu Chandra Das. He was lynched to death in Bangladesh. The Ministry of External Affairs condemned this barbaric killing and urged that the perpetrators be brought to justice immediately. But is that an appeal that the government of Bangladesh is taking seriously? The MEA has expressed concern over attacks on minorities in Bangladesh, urging that all those responsible against killings of minorities be brought to justice. A new video that has been accessed by us shows Deepu in police custody right before he was lynched. In fact, CNN News 18 has exclusively spoken with the brother of Deepu Chandra Das, who says that Deepu never insulted anyone, that the allegations of blasphemy were incorrect and only used as a ruse to target him and lynch him because he was a Hindu. Listen in to what Deepu Chandra Das's brother had to tell CNN News 18.
আপনি কখন জানতে পারলেন কি আপনার ভাইয়ের সাথে এরকম হয়েছে?
আমার জানতে পারছি যে এটা হয়েছে, মনে করো এটা হয়েছে 7 তারিখে। আমার ভাইয়ের বন্ধু আসছিল, সিম্পাথি করে পরে মনে করো 7 তারিখে খেলতে গেলো, খেলতে গেছে। দাদা কি আপনি বুঝুন তো আমার মনে এরকম কি বলছে, একটু আপনারা আসতেন, আপনি আমার এলাকাতে করা কয়েকটা নেতা নিয়ে, ভালো ভালো নেতা নিয়ে নিয়ে যান, আমার থানায় যান, থানায় গিয়ে এই করেন না, তাহলে আমাকে ওই থানার জন্য পড়া নিয়ে আনতে হবে। তার মধ্যে আতঙ্ক হয়ে গেছে যে আমার বাইরে কি করছে আর বাইরে কি করলো, বাইরে এরকম যাচ্ছিল না, বাইরে কিন্তু বাইরে কিছু করে না, বাইরে ধর্ম খুব ধর্ম খুব ভালোবাসছে, যে কোনো ধর্ম। আচ্ছা, তারপর আমরা গেলাম, যাওয়ার পর 10 মিনিট পরে ঘুমতে গেছি, রাজা আছি আপনি ছেলে যান না।
আপনাদের কি কারোর সাথে আপনার কি কারোর সাথে কোনো দুশ্মনী ছিল? কেন এটাই বক্তব্য চলছে কি উনি প্রফেটের খিলাফ কিছু বলেছেন, এই জন্য ওকে মারা হয়েছে, এরকম কোনো ঝগড়া ছিল আপনাদের? হ্যাঁ বলুন অবুদা বলুন।
সব ঠিক আছে, সব বিষয়ে
আপনারা পুলিশ আপনারা পুলিশ কমপ্লেন করেছেন, কিন্তু এখন অবধি পুলিশ কিছু করেছে?
মনে করেন 10 জনের পরে বিচারে 2 জন, সেই 12 জনের ধরা হয়েছে, 12 জনের রিমান্ডে নেওয়া হয়েছে, রিমান্ডে জিজ্ঞাসাবাদ চলতেছে। চলার পর দেশের অজ্ঞাতনামা যারা দিচ্ছিল আর 500 জনের অজ্ঞাতনামা হামলার যে ইন্টারে আবার ধরা হয়, সিসি ক্যামেরা ফুটেজ দেখে দেখে ধরা হয়।
কি আপনি কি বাংলাদেশ ছাড়তে চান, কি আপনি ভারতবর্ষতে আসতে চান? আপনার ভয় লাগে না?
কি করবো, আসলে যদি আমাদের মধ্যবিত্ত চাইতাম বা আমার যদি এরকম সামর্থ্য থাকতো যে আমরা বাংলাদেশে থাকতাম, আমার ব্যাংকে বড় কাহিনী, একশো কাহিনী আর হয়েছে, কিন্তু এরকম কাহিনী একেবারে কম কিন্তু দিব আমার ভাইয়ের দেয় একেবারে সবচেয়ে বেশি হয়ে গেছে। আমার যদি এরকম সামর্থ্য থাকে থাকতাম চলে গেছে।
Will Deepu Chandradas' family get justice? So will the Yunus administration walk the talk on ensuring safety of minorities? Well, I spoke to Alok Kumar, International President of the VHP, that has been raising this issue and continues to do so throughout the country, as they will be leading protests and campaigns demanding justice and accountability for the lynching of Deepu Das. Listen into this conversation that I had with Mr. Kumar earlier today.
The VHP has viewed the incidents in Bangladesh with alarmity and anguish. It has been alleged that Deepu Chandradas was guilty of blasphemy, and the statement ascribed to him is that he said that all religions lead to the same path. They are all equal and they are all respectable. This statement was considered as blasphemous by a section of the Muslim community. He was dragged, he was lynched, he was burnt alive. Now, this statement is a challenge to the secular values of the world. The very basis of secularism is that all religions are equal and they all command respect as far as the state is concerned. Second, went to the janaza of Hadi and said that Hadi lives in our hearts. We will fulfill his dream, and the generations of Bangladeshis will fight for it. The Hadi, sometime before he was shot, had called about Vrahad Bangladesh, the greater Bangladesh, which includes the boundaries of the northeast of Bengal and parts of Bihar. If this is what Muhammad Yunus was referring to, if this is what he said that the generations would fight, then it is a direct challenge to the India's sovereignty and the territorial integrity. The VHP will hold dharnas and demonstrations in all districts of the country in the next 2 days. The VHP units around the globe would organize Hindus and the people and the office bearers of the civil society to impress their governments to persuade Bangladesh to a saner path. The elections there being near, such tactics are being employed, and after Deepu, 2 more families have been burnt alive by torching their houses in the night. The VHP considers this a challenge. We will face the challenge. We will arouse the world community. We will hold demonstrations in all districts of the country. And we believe that the government of India takes it in all seriousness. We do not have the intelligence inputs. So we do not have a specific advice to the government. But whatever the government does to meet out the situation, the Indian people would stand behind the government in this.
But Mr. Alok Kumar, do you think that this is only going to spiral for the worse in Bangladesh? Because there seems to be an anti-India, anti-minorities kind of rhetoric that is getting some sort of sanction from the Yunus administration, at least tacit support if nothing else.
Not tacit, direct support. When he says that we would fulfill Adi's dreams, he himself is saying something that challenges the territorial integrity. And then you kill Deepu, saying that he made a blasphemous statement, and then come to the TV and say that no statement has been found. If no statement has been found, why was he killed?
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
Spokesperson of the BJP, Arshpreet Kadial from the Congress Party joining us. Major General Anil Verma is head of ADR and Sandeep Shastri, National
backs the DMK, is with us as well as Muralidharan, political analyst backing the TVK, and Ramaswamy Mayappan, an advocate, joins us. Let me begin by asking Mr. Ibrahim, why is it that we saw this sort of disparity where one particular community was not allowed to practice what they have been saying is centuries-old tradition while the other was?
Until the BJP and RSS play petty politics with the Trippuram Kundram issue, everything was going fine and Madurai people were enjoying whatever the freedom. Now the matter is sub judice. And even when it comes to this Dargah, the regular procession was being given. The same procession was being given, the same procedure was being given during the Kartika Deepam, where the ancient 100-year-old pillar has been given, which is the righteous thing which the state government has to do when during the Kartika Deepam. And the same tune has been lit up during the Kartika Deepam by December 1st, on that particular event, which has been followed for more than 100 years. So there is no kind of double standard here, which the BJP and RSS is trying to evoke through their proxy called Rama Ravi Kumar, by invoking seditious, invoking most sensitive prawn area over there. But having said that, the Madurai has been seeing Kallalagar Murugan festival. Almost 30 lakh people have been following on a year by year without even a 0.01% of any kind of deviation or any kind of issues. Until unless the BJP and RSS want to try to do the petty politics by religion, which they have been successful in doing that with the North India, they want to try the same thing in South India, particularly in Tamil Nadu.
But Mr. Ibrahim, it wasn't the BJP or the RSS that blocked these devotees from going atop that hill on the 3rd of December. It was the state government, it was the state police and the local administration. So how is the BJP invoking anything? There was a court order that asked for this lighting of the Kartikeya Deepam at that particular spot. And yet these devotees were blocked.
Can I complete? By 1996, there has been given a ruling which has been stated by the double bench judge by 2014, which has been stated during the 2017 hearing also. So once the double bench has given a constitutional framework of those kind of orders, which has been overturned by the single judge with what kind of narratives, we don't want to get into this and create a contempt. But having said that, whether the appeal of the HRNC have been followed during the Supreme Court, when the court has been pending order has been there, the 100-year-old Deepathoon has been formally lit up every year without even a 0.01% of problems or issues. Only unless there is a motive behind the BJP and RSS to create a division with the religion ahead of 2026 polls, the state government has its all liberty to make law and order problem doesn't arise. And having said that, 100-year-old Deepathoon have been formulated and written even this year by the HRNC by call upon all the Trippuram Kundram people and doing or whatever the procession which has to be followed has been followed by the state government. What kind of narrative the BJP has to formulate with this kind of issue, that won't be allowed, not even only in Tamil Nadu, but across India, it shouldn't be allowed by creating a divisive
But sir,
politics,
you haven't answered my question. It wasn't the BJP or the RSS that blocked these people, that blocked these devotees from going atop that hill. It was the state government, the local administration and the police.
No, unless the case has been filed by the Madurai High Court, which has been under sub judice matter right now.
But the DMK government appealed to the court. The Supreme Court didn't say, okay, fine, put a stay on what the court had said. Which means that the earlier order which came in from the Madurai bench of the Madras High Court stays in effect. Which means that Deepathoon lighting at the Kartikeya Deepam should have happened.
Poonam, prevention of law and order, where there are kind of miscreants who have been coming to create a divisive politics or divisive in nature, has to be proclaimed and has to be eradicated by the state government through whatever the means. Even if it is Islam people are doing it, or Christians doing it, or Hindus doing it, that doesn't matter for any state government who run by the constitution book, right? And once there has been a given of information by the intelligence stating that there kind of a mob is coming, those are the inputs which has been submitted to the Madurai High Court bench as well, even during the last hearing. So now, as the matter is sub judice, we want to wait for the righteous place which has to be given to the Hindus. There is no denial at all. Even the state government of Tamil Nadu has done almost 3,000 Kumbh Mela and Kumbhabhishekam or during the last 4.5 years, where the ADMK government for the last 10 years have done only 38 to 39 Kumbhabhishekam. So you don't want to call an DMK government, which is secular for all the people of Tamil Nadu, for almost the 8 crore people of Tamil Nadu, as one particular religion or particularly bashing some kind of religion. That is the narrative which the BJP and RSS want to do ahead of 2026 polls, which sensibility of the Tamil Nadu.
So Narayanan Tirupati, this is only a political matter for the BJP and the RSS, which is why you're trying to whip up the sentiment and keep this alive. Leave aside the fact that the court actually ordered it. That order was not put into effect or implemented by the state government, but it's just the BJP that's trying to whip up this sort of sentiment, is the allegation.
See, only one thing. Last year, the same time.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
Who backs the DMK is with us as well as Muralidharan, political analyst backing the TVK, and Ramaswamy Mayappan, an advocate, joins us. Let me begin by asking Mr. Ibrahim, why is it that we saw this sort of disparity where one particular community was not allowed to practice what they have been saying is centuries-old tradition while the other was?
Until the BJP and RSS play petty politics with the Trippuram Kundram issue, everything was going fine and Madurai people were enjoying whatever the freedom. Now the matter is sub judice. And even when it comes to this Dargah, the regular procession was being given. The same procession was being given, the same procedure was being given during the Kartika Deepam, where the ancient 100-year-old pillar has been given, which is the righteous thing which the state government has to do when during the Kartika Deepam. And the same tune has been lit up during the Kartika Deepam by December 1st, on that particular event, which has been followed for more than 100 years. So there is no kind of double standard here, which the BJP and RSS is trying to evoke through their proxy called Rama Ravi Kumar, by invoking seditious, invoking most sensitive prawn area over there. But having said that, the Madurai has been seeing Kallalagar Murugan festival. Almost 30 lakh people have been following on a year by year without even a 0.01% of any kind of deviation or any kind of issues. Unless the BJP and RSS want to try to do the petty politics by religion, which they have been successful in doing that with the North India, they want to try the same thing in South India, particularly in Tamil Nadu.
But Mr. Ibrahim, it wasn't the BJP or the RSS that blocked these devotees from going atop that hill on the 3rd of December. It was the state government, it was the state police and the local administration. So how is the BJP invoking anything? There was a court order that asked for this lighting of the Kartikeya Deepam at that particular spot, and yet these devotees were blocked.
Can I complete? By 1996, there has been given a ruling which has been stated by the double bench judge by 2014, which has been stated during the 2017 hearing also. So once the double bench has given a constitutional framework of those kind of orders, which has been overturned by the single judge, with what kind of narratives, we don't want to get into this and create a contempt. But having said that, whether the appeal of the HRNC have been followed during the Supreme Court, when the court is being
Good evening. You're watching the Brass Tacks with me, Akanksha Swaroop. As Hindus face attacks in Bangladesh, Muhammad Yunus is losing control. This as the Jamaatis and radicals are running amok. In fact, after the killing of Usman Hadi, another youth leader has been shot. Muhammad Mutaleb Sikdar, who belongs to the NCP's Labour wing, was shot in Khulna today. Sikdar is believed to be in a critical condition, raising the question if the Yunus regime will again pin the blame of yet another shooting on India. Clearly, Dhaka is scapegoating New Delhi. We'll tell you why. To begin with, Bangladesh's Additional Inspector General Police has warned against speculation surrounding the location of Hadi's killer, meaning they have admitted that there's no credible evidence to establish that Hadi's killer is in India. Moreover, BNP's veteran politician Nilofer Chaudhry Moni has dropped a bombshell revelation. What is it? Moni has alleged that a senior Jamaat-e-Islami leader and prominent lawyer Shishir Manir had twice secured bail for Hadi's alleged killer. Now remember, this contradicts earlier reports that claim that Hadi's killer was associated only with the student wing of the Awami League, that is the Bangladesh Chhatra League. In fact, Moni has claimed that the suspected shooter had links to multiple political groups. That includes the Jamaat circle as well, raising the question, was Hadi killed by the Jamaatis and not the Awami League as was being claimed earlier? And who stands to gain by wiping out these youth leaders? These very youth leaders who ousted Sheikh Hasina in August of 2024. Meanwhile, New